since we're going back. Since we talked about you really want to have a rock solid recall, and I've been practicing extra with her at coming when called from long distances. This is a 30-foot long line, and I've practiced just taking her out. Of course, when you're going to take her out of your yard, you always have her on a long line. So this is on a very quiet street. So even if she did kind of stray into the street for a second, there's no traffic here, so it's pretty safe. There's a road out there, but she's doubled up on 2 collars, so she couldn't get away. She could never get loose. So right now she's getting petted 30 feet away. Come! So you just do it the same way. Good. She comes to my right-hand target. I grab the leash with my left hand as she comes up to me. If that was the only time I'd call her to me, then I would have her sit. If I was using the long line like a regular leash, it just takes a little bit of practice to, let's say I was letting her play at a park or something. It would just take a little bit of practice to quickly roll this up so they could use it. So you could use it as a regular leash, and then you could continue your walk like that in training mode. When you were ready to release her again, you could say sit, and then you could say go, and she could be free again. Now she's going to go over and maybe go and try to play with the camera person. Hey, don't you want to go by the camera person? And so you just kind of get used to messing with this long line and untangling it when it gets tangled up. You get better and better at it as you practice. But I've been practicing this in different situations with the long line, and she's going back to Darien again, so I'll practice it again. Come! See how I'm backing away? She's coming running to me, to my right-hand target. Good. She gets the reward. With your left hand that's already holding the leash, you just grab that leash by her collar so that then you have control over her. And then you could, if you don't want to roll up the leash again, you can say sit again and then go, release her again. She loves Darien, so she's going to go back and hang out with him. Why don't you hold on to her, Darien, so she stays there for a minute? So if she ever ignores your command, you're never going to repeat it. The reason she's so good now after 3 weeks is because I've never said it twice. If she ever ignored it, I just do a little pop and release. She'll turn around, it's like a tap on the shoulder to her. She'll turn around, see you backing away with your target. She'll come like a bullet, just like you see here. So that's worst case scenario. So I'm going to call her again. Come! Good. See, the problem was Darien had some food, but still, she couldn't help herself. She came my way. Good girl. Very good. And that's the way we're doing the recall with the 6-foot leash as well. You're always calling her back to you. Sit. Like this. So I'm going to release her. Go. Let's say this is a 6-foot leash. I always practice calling her to me when she was at least looking away, whether it was going towards somebody or something, or sniffing something I didn't want her to sniff, like this. Come! But call her to my right-hand target. Good. Good girl. And then take that leash with my left hand, step into her. Sit. That's how you get her back on the clock in training mode. So doing it this way, showing you with this, is harder than the 6-foot leash. So I'll just do it all with this leash, because using the 6-foot leash is way easier because there's less leash to control, of course. Go. So I just practice that way every time. If she ever ignored my recall, I just do this. Come. Do that. Good. Do a little pop. And she always will respond to that. Make sure that if you don't have food, like the last 2 times that I've called her, I haven't had food in my hand, but she comes to that target anyway. Make sure it's a closed fist, just like we've already practiced in person, but in what you've seen me do here. Not a half open hand, because when you start to phase the food out, she's going to see it's empty. It's a fist, and she'll always come to that target, no matter where it goes. See, she can't help herself. Wherever it goes. Good girl. If there's no food, give her affection, and she'll barely miss the fact that there's no food in there anymore. But just for a few weeks, you need to use food like I did. And you should phase out the food like I have now. I hardly ever have anything in there, and I don't need to have anything in there. But the first few weeks you're doing this with her, use food just like I have. We're using the Natural Balance sausage, the lamb flavor, just a little piece like that. Come. Good. That's exactly the way you want to do it every time. And notice that every time that I call her to me, I'm backing away, because when you back away, it draws the dog to you. And in this early stage of her training, it's not even been 1 month yet that she's learned all these things, you want to do everything to accelerate the learning process that you can with the recall. Later on, you won't have to back away or anything, because she will have done it with you a couple of 100 times, and you don't have to do all these things like the food and the backing away. But right now, to really get it in there, you want to back away, just like this, because it'll draw her to you and use your target, and it just gets better and better. Good girl. Okay.